I've been very lucky. I mean, literally for the last 20 years, anything that I sit down to write, if by the time I get to the end of it, if I like it, if this is what I want to do, if this is what I want to spend the next year and a half of my life doing, I pretty much know I'm going to be able to do it.
Every generation has a filmmaker that defines the era, and Quentin Tarantino is the name that has eclipsed all others over the past 30 years. Tarantino grew up on the west coast of the United States, and his stepfather encouraged his love of television shows and, of course, movies. At an early age, he began writing scripts, which was something that would help to establish him as a fully fledged and independent writer-director years later. With 9 official films in his back catalogue and a number of others that he has been involved with as a writer and an actor, Quentin Tarantino has been a prolific creative force in Hollywood and left an indelible mark on the movie business. We advise seeing all of his movies, but for those of you who are unfamiliar with his work, here are our top 5 Quentin Tarantino films, which are listed chronologically, not ranked. Number 1. Reservoir Dogs. Funded in part by the sale of the True Romance screenplay and by residuals he received for his role in an episode of the Golden Girls TV show, Reservoir Dogs was Quentin Tarantino's breakthrough film, and one of the most successful and critically acclaimed independent features of all time. With a cast that includes Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Michael Madsen, Steve Buscemi, and Tarantino himself, Reservoir Dogs rapidly became an iconic phenomenon. Despite the modest budget and relatively simple setup, the film was an instant hit with critics and audiences alike.
Dick, 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 dick. How many dicks is that?
Number 2. Pulp Fiction. After initial success with Reservoir Dogs, Quentin Tarantino then created what would become one of the most talked about films of the 1990s. Pulp Fiction featured an all-star ensemble cast and further expanded the Tarantino-verse, which had been established in his debut film. The dialogue is memorable and extremely quotable, the sporadic violence is aestheticized and sometimes shocking, but despite this, Pulp Fiction's tone is fairly humorous and colourful, mirroring its title and solidifying Quentin Tarantino as a major Hollywood talent. He would not repeat the same cultural success for a few years, and some consider this film to be his finest work.
God damn, Jimmy. This some serious gourmet shit.
Number 3. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Despite being released as 2 separate films, Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2 were originally conceived as one movie, but due to the 4-hour runtime, this magnum opus revenge thriller was split into 2 parts, although Tarantino still considers them to be one film. There are edits of the full film known as Kill Bill: The Whole Bloody Affair, but most of us saw them for the first time as 2 separate films. For the purpose of this video, we're counting them both as one. An obvious nod to the exploitation cinema of the 1970s, especially those of the martial arts variety, Kill Bill is centered around the character of the bride, who was developed by Tarantino and lead actress Uma Thurman during the filming of Pulp Fiction. A shocking and bloody tale of revenge most gruesome, this project was a return to form for Tarantino and delighted fans upon its release.
Silly Caucasian girl likes to play with samurai swords.
Number 4. Django Unchained. Having been criticized previously by some of his peers for the use of racial slurs throughout his writing, Tarantino came under further fire when he decided to make a spaghetti western influenced movie about a freed slave in the deep south of the United States. Django Unchained is not loved by everyone and is possibly the most controversial pick we have selected for our top 5. But being fans of the western genre and the incredible performances in the film, we have decided to include it. A rip-roaring assault on the eyes and ears, this movie is possibly Quentin Tarantino's most ambitious, and incidentally, is also his most financially successful film to date.
I've just had the shorts fixed, and they're perfect.
That's good to know.
Number 5. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The 9th and most recent film from Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, is a fictional story that uses real events and some real-life Hollywood characters as a backdrop. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton, an aging TV and film star who is struggling to keep up with the changes afoot in America in the late 60s, and as a result finds his star is fading in the wake of new Hollywood talent and an ever-changing cultural landscape. In real life, Sharon Tate was the victim of a gruesome murder at the hands of the infamous Manson family, and once upon a time uses our pre-existing knowledge of pop culture history to build suspense and keep us on the edge of our seats as two worlds collide and the fate of the young actress hangs in the balance. We have talked more about this film in detail in one of our early podcasts. If you want to hear our further thoughts, we've left a link in the description.
I love that stuff, the killing.
A lot of killing.
So there you have it, our top 5 Quentin Tarantino films. Have you seen them all? Which Tarantino movie is your favourite? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any uploads from More Movies. Check out our top 5 Quentin Tarantino films article for more information about this awesome filmmaker and his movies. You'll find all the links in the description. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider supporting us at buymeacoffee.com or join us on Patreon. All links below.